Okay everyone, so today I'm doing the rear brakes on the Civic Si. You may have seen in a previous video me doing the drilled and slotted rotors on the front of this thing. If not, I want to go ahead and just do a little bit of a how-to guide, how to do this on a Honda Civic. And obviously this is not going to be a universal how-to guide. Somewhat universal how you're going to be doing this. And then also there's a little bit of confusion I've seen in the car community about the direction of a drilled and slotted rotor, and I just wanted to give a little bit of clarification on that. I'm not going to go too into depth about it, but yeah, these are directional rotors, which means they have to be on a particular side. And whether or not you'll be able to see this, I don't know, but there's a sticker on here. See there, it says rear driver's side, and if you look at the rotor itself, the slots are slanted outwards, and then the drilled portion is also kind of stepping up outwards as well. And the reason being, the reason why this would be the rear driver's side is because your wheel is going to be rotating in this direction, right? So there's a little bit of thermodynamics and aerodynamics that come into play here. So just imagine this rotor is spinning this way. You want the pad to come in contact with it and hit this port first, this port second, and that port third. And what that'll do is direct the airflow outwards from the pressure that's being created on that little bitty port. And then the same goes for the slot here. You'll want it to hit the bottom portion first and direct that flow outwards as it rotates around. And that will direct the hot heat coming from the braking outward away from the brake rotor itself and the hub assembly as well. So yeah, that's the basic rundown of why it's important to have the direction of these drilled and slotted rotors in the correct orientation. And if you do have these on backwards, well, I'll grab the passenger side here. And so if you do have these on here backwards, basically it's going to be directing that hot heat towards the center of the rotor and also the hub assembly. And what that can cause is your rotor to overheat and end up cracking or something along those lines, warping the rotor, you know, those sorts of things that you would typically see as far as problems go with rotors and things of that sort. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that for a second, kind of clarify the orientation of the rotors. So pretty much all you're going to need here is, I mean, your basic hand tools. A breaker bar will come in handy as well, an impact if you have one of those. You'll obviously want your rotors, new pads, and my kit came with hardware as well, so I'll be replacing that also. And maybe an extension or two, you know, some ratcheting wrenches or regular wrenches, and then obviously you'll need a jack and some jack stands as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all you're going to need for the job. I believe it's 14 millimeters for this caliper here. And yeah, I've already got the tires all broken loose. Got my front wheels chocked. Let's get this guy off of here real quick. And actually, I noticed while I was looking at this other tire, unfortunately, I've got a freaking nail in it, which I thought I heard some weird noise going on whenever I was driving, and that kind of explains that. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and break this caliper loose. Let me just go ahead and verify here. What size that is. Millimeter. Yeah, so it's 14 millimeter for the caliper, and then I believe it's 14 millimeter for the slider bolts as well. So I mean, if you were just doing the brake pads, you could just break one of these sliders loose, flip up the caliper, and be good to go. Okay, so I got the old pads off and the old rotor off. This rotor actually had a pretty good lip in it, so I had to kind of beat the pads off to get them out. See, they kind of made their own little track in the rotor there, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and replace the rotors. And the pads, they're not horrible, there's actually still a decent amount of meat on them, but they are pretty crappy pads. They put out a lot of freaking dust, you can see there. So yeah, these are carbon ceramic pads here, and yeah, let's go ahead. You may have seen I mounted the caliper back on here. I forgot that the rear calipers on these things need this piston tool here to turn the piston back in. So yeah, I just use the 4-prong side here, and yeah, you just use a 3/8 ratchet on the inside of that block there, and you know, turn it in. Righty tighty to turn it in. And yeah, I'm gonna take this caliper back off now, get this rotor on here, get the new pads in there. This is a new caliper, which has fairly new hardware, so I'm not even gonna worry about doing the hardware on this side. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing all back together and done on this side, and we'll hop over to the other side and get it knocked out too. Okay, so the driver's side is all done now. I just need to throw some brake clean on there to clean that up. But one thing I forgot to mention about this job is you want to take the brake cable off of here, the e-brake cable as well. So in between this little lever here and the spring, you just stick a screwdriver in there and pull on it a little bit, get a little bit of leverage there, and that'll give you enough room to slip this guy off or on. So yeah, go ahead and take your e-brake cable off as well. And then yeah, so you got your 14 mil bolt right there, and then inside here there's another 14 mil bolt. I've already broken these loose. Typically I'll just take a ratchet, get it on the bolt, and then I will take my rubber mallet, give it a nice blow and that'll typically break your bolts loose pretty easily. And yeah, like I said, I already went ahead and did that, so I'm going to take these the rest of the way off here, get this caliper off. I may go ahead and grease up the sliders on this caliper because this is an old caliper. Do plan on replacing this at some point in time because you can see it's pretty crusty. All the powder coating and stuff is coming off of there, so yeah, that's something for the future. But until then, I'm going to continue on, get this caliper off, get the rotor off. We'll clean up the mating surface on the hub behind this rotor here, just so that I know it's a good, nice, even surface for the rotor to mate to. And then also I will be putting some grease on the hub there as well, just to try and prevent any rust welding or anything like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get this knocked out real quick. so that is going to do it for this video. I sprayed this little rag here with some brake clean. I need to get some more on there, but anyway, I'm just going to clean up the surface of the rotors now from any grease or anything that I accidentally got on there while I was working on them. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I am going to do a break-in procedure on the new rotors and pads, which will be me going from 55 to 45 5 times, 45 to 35 5 times, and 35 to 0 5 times, and that will complete the break-in period to bed the pads to the new rotors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys think I've earned your subscription today, go ahead and tap that sub button. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, and any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.